So we've officially built our Dagster project, version 1 at least. We have the scaffold built in the quick start. We populated our assets and our definition script. We've also provided credentials in the .env file. We should be ready to go. So let's start by opening the UI, and we do this in our terminal. Remember, we should be in the virtual environment created in the quick start, which is right here. And here, I'm just going to say dgdev. This might take a minute. Okay, on this line here, you can see that our web server, our UI, is running on port 3000. So I'm going to go over to a browser and open it up. So I'm going to say localhost 3000. And there we go. Here's what the UI looks like if you're not already familiar. Now I want to go to the assets tab and just see the assets that I've created. You can see that we have one asset for each of our endpoints. And this is exactly what DLT assets are able to give us. We're able to individually access different endpoints. So if you want, we can run the entire pipeline and collect all the data from all the endpoints. But let's say if I just want the data for the releases endpoint, I could easily just materialize this single asset. But for the first one, I want to materialize everything. So I'm going to go to view lineage up here. And here you get a good view of all the assets being independent to one another. And I'm just going to click on materialize all. And that's going to launch a run, which I can view here. And there we go. We have our pipeline run executed in Dagster. So let's give this a minute to run completely. Hopefully there's no issues. We'll see in a moment. Great, that's a relief. So everything worked without a problem. If I click on this bar here and go to std out, standard output, you can actually see the logs for the run the same way you would do it in a terminal on your computer if you were to run it locally. You can see all the extract, you can see all the endpoints and the respective number of data items. You can see the normalization and also the loading. And yeah, that's the gist of it. You can easily monitor and debug as needed. And since this is a scheduled event, it'll run periodically without you having to, yourself do anything. But let's not stop there. Let me show you a bit more of what the Dagster UI can offer. So I'm going to click on View Asset Lineage, and let's say that I want to kind of look into how what the status is for one of these endpoints. Let's say issues. I can click on this, and already we're given all this metadata in terms of the run itself. When the run was made, what's materialized. Let me open this up in the asset catalog just to get a better look. So here we can actually look at the schema of the data that's outputted right here, which is pretty cool. We get access to the metadata. So as you know, one of the functionalities of DLT, is that it can create child tables from nested data. So here's what that is right here: issues, assignees, and issues labels. And if you want, you can always look at the schema and just learn more about your data. So that's a really cool thing about Dagster. Of course, there are functionalities in DLT that allow you to do this, but when you deploy to Dagster, you can directly access this information in the UI itself. So let me actually try a different asset. So here we have the contributors asset, and I'm going to show you, how you can materialize it and run just the data for that asset. So I'm going to click on materialize, and I'm going to go to view. This will take a moment, but probably not as long as the first run. And once again, if you click on this and you go to std out, you can see the logs up and it's already done running. So yeah, and you'll notice this time when we run it, we're only focusing on one endpoint, which is great because now we can single out individual endpoints. And later on, which I'll show you, you can actually run these endpoints concurrently using Dagster's multiprocessing capabilities. So you can actually save time by running multiple endpoints in parallel. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to show you. Dagster is excellent if you're prioritizing data governance. You can learn so much from its UI because of all the metadata that is provided. What's run, when it's run, even how many rows are being loaded. So in this case, you can see that it's 128 rows for both endpoints. Just something I wanted to share.